Welcome to History's Echo, where we uncover the forgotten brilliance of civilizations long past.
Cleopatra, the woman who made Rome kneel. A true story of love, power, and the fall of empires. Rome did not fear armies alone. It feared one woman. She didn't wear armor. She didn't command legions. Yet the most powerful men in history, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, would risk empires for her. Her name was Cleopatra VII. And this is not a love story. This is the story of how desire conquered Rome, a kingdom on the edge. In 48 BCE, Egypt was no longer the mighty empire it once was. It was rich, but weak, surrounded by enemies, controlled by Rome's shadow. Cleopatra was just 21 years old when her own brother betrayed her. She was exiled, hunted, erased from the throne. Most queens disappear at this point. Cleopatra did not. She understood one brutal truth of history. Power doesn't belong to the strongest. It belongs to the smartest. Rome ruled the world, and Rome had a single heartbeat, Julius Caesar, the carpet that changed history. Cleopatra knew Caesar was in Alexandria, but approaching him openly meant death. So she did something no one expected. She had herself wrapped inside a carpet and smuggled into Caesar's private chambers. When the carpet unfurled, Rome's most feared man stared into the eyes of a woman who spoke 9 languages, understood economics, politics, and psychology, and refused to kneel. That night did not begin with seduction. It began with strategy. Cleopatra didn't ask Caesar for help. She offered him Egypt. Love as a weapon. Caesar had conquered Gaul. He had crossed the Rubicon. But Cleopatra conquered his mind. She wasn't just beautiful. She was dangerously intelligent. She spoke of Egypt's gold, its grain supply, Rome's lifeline, its position as the key to the Eastern world. Soon, Caesar didn't just support Cleopatra. He went to war for her. Alexandria burned. Cleopatra's brother drowned in the Nile. And Cleopatra reclaimed the throne. But she did not rule alone. Queen of Egypt, lover of Rome. Cleopatra gave Caesar a son, Caesarion, a living threat to Rome's future. She arrived in Rome like a goddess. Gold, silk, perfume from the east. Romans whispered in fear, because this foreign queen was doing what no enemy army ever could. She was reshaping Rome from the inside. When Caesar was assassinated, stabbed 23 times by his own Senate, Cleopatra didn't scream. She calculated Rome would fall again, and she would choose the next man who ruled it. One Roman general would soon stand before her, a man of war, hunger, and fire. His name was Mark Antony. And unlike Caesar, he would not survive loving Cleopatra. Empires are not always destroyed by war. Sometimes they collapse because of love. This is history's echo, where the past still whispers, and power always leaves a trace. Cleopatra and Mark Antony. When passion challenged an empire, history remembers great wars, great emperors, great victories. But Rome almost fell, not to an army, but to a love affair. One woman, one general, and a passion so powerful it split the Roman world in half. This is the true story of Cleopatra and Mark Antony, when love became treason and desire became destiny. The most dangerous invitation after Julius Caesar's assassination, Rome was chaos. 3 men divided the empire. One of them was Mark Antony, Rome's greatest general, a soldier forged by war, feared by enemies, loved by legions. Antony summoned Cleopatra to meet him, not as a queen, as a suspect. Rome believed Cleopatra was dangerous. They were right, but not in the way Rome imagined. The queen arrives like a goddess. Cleopatra didn't come in chains. She arrived on a golden barge, sails soaked in purple dye, perfume filling the air, dressed as Aphrodite, goddess of love. Antony watched, a warrior stunned into silence. That night, Cleopatra didn't plead. She didn't apologize. She entertained. Wine, philosophy, politics, humor. By dawn, Antony wasn't interrogating her. He was already lost. Love, luxury, and manipulation. Cleopatra understood Antony's weakness. He was not like Caesar. Cold, calculating, distant, Antony wanted emotion, glory, passion, escape. So Cleopatra gave him a world where Rome didn't exist. Lavish banquets, endless festivals, a life of excess. But beneath the pleasure was strategy. Cleopatra funded Antony's armies, supplied ships, controlled Eastern wealth. Together they ruled lands stretching from Egypt to Asia. Rome was watching and growing afraid. Rome declares war on love. Back in Rome, Antony made a fatal mistake. He abandoned Roman tradition. He divorced Octavia, the sister of his rival, Octavian, and declared Cleopatra his true queen. Even worse, he named Cleopatra's children as rulers of Roman territories. To Rome, this was unforgivable. Octavian didn't declare war on Antony. He declared war on Cleopatra, because Rome could accept a traitor, but it would never accept a woman ruling it from the shadows. The battle that ended everything. The final confrontation came at sea. The Battle of Actium, 31 BCE. Antony's fleet was powerful, but Cleopatra's ships suddenly withdrew. Confusion, panic, chaos. Antony did the unthinkable. He followed Cleopatra, abandoning his own navy. Rome saw this moment clearly. The greatest general alive chose love over empire. It was over. Death of a dream. Defeated and cornered, false rumors reached Antony. Cleopatra was dead. Broken, humiliated, abandoned. Antony fell on his sword, but Cleopatra was alive. She held Antony as he died, their empire collapsing with him. Octavian captured Cleopatra. He planned to parade her in chains. She refused. Using a hidden asp, Cleopatra ended her life, not as a prisoner, but as a queen. With Cleopatra dead, Rome stood unchallenged. But one question remained. Did Cleopatra truly lose, or did she change history forever? Because Rome would never be the same again. They called it a scandal. Rome called it treason. History calls it inevitable. This is history's echo, where love shapes empires and passion leaves ruins. Rome didn't celebrate Cleopatra's death. It rewrote her story, because the woman who almost ruled Rome was too dangerous to be remembered truthfully. One man would decide how history judged her. His name was Octavian, and from Cleopatra's ashes, the Roman Empire would be born. The survivor of Rome. Octavian was not a great general. He was something far more dangerous. He was patient. While Caesar conquered with swords, Octavian conquered with words. He understood a truth that still rules the modern world. Whoever controls the story, controls reality. Cleopatra was already defeated. Now Octavian would destroy her legacy. The first propaganda war Rome had never seen anything like this. Octavian didn't call Cleopatra a queen. He called her a witch, a seductress, a foreign manipulator, a woman who enslaved Roman men with pleasure. Mark Antony was portrayed not as a lover, but as a victim. Rome believed it, because Octavian gave them a villain they already feared, a powerful woman who refused to submit. This was not war. This was psychological conquest, turning victory into absolute power. With Antony and Cleopatra gone, Octavian stood alone, but Rome hated kings. So Octavian did something brilliant. He refused the crown. Instead, he called himself Princeps, first citizen. In reality, he controlled everything. The army, the treasury, the laws, the Senate itself. Rome thought it was still free. It wasn't. The Republic died quietly, without a single battle. Augustus, the illusion of peace. Octavian renamed himself Augustus. Under him, Rome entered the Pax Romana, 200 years of relative peace. Roads, trade architecture, law. The empire prospered. But the price was silence. No rival, no queen, no woman like Cleopatra would ever threaten Rome again. History had chosen its side. The woman history couldn't kill. But here's the truth Rome buried. Cleopatra didn't lose because she was weak. She lost because she was too modern. She ruled through economics, diplomacy, branding, and psychology. Techniques empires still use today. Her death didn't end her influence. It defined it. Because even now, 2,000 years later, we remember her name. While Rome remembers Augustus as emperor, the world remembers Cleopatra. This wasn't just ancient history. This was the first global lesson in media manipulation, gendered power, political branding, psychological warfare. Cleopatra didn't just challenge Rome, she exposed it. Empires rise through conquest. They survive through control, but they are remembered through stories. This is history's echo, where the truth outlives the throne and power never truly dies.